Hearing the engine roar to life again was good news, but we still need to get this build ready for its first test ride. Today, we'll be addressing the tires and the chain. Afterwards, hopefully it'll be good to test at the end of the day. Because we have yet to test ride this motorcycle, we'd like to keep it as low budget as possible. As such, we're going to try and revive the rusty chain here, using WD-40, the rust release penetrant. Using an entire can of this, we're going to completely soak the rusty chain. Keep in mind that I do not recommend this if you have a rusty chain. You should just replace the chain. It's a lot safer, and it's very cheap still. You will likely also have to replace the sprockets, and later we will be replacing the chain and sprockets regardless of the result from trying to repair this chain. As you can see, there is a bit of binding that has occurred due to the rust of this chain, so we're going to try and loosen that up as much as possible. There we go, now it's spinning nice and freely. Now we're going to take our brush and we're going to really get in there, try and loosen it up, and remove as much of that rust while cleaning the chain as well. Since we couldn't save that chain, we're gonna have to take it off. So let's get to it. Chain having been dealt with, now let's change these tires. Ah, the comforts of having a tire machine. I love being able to easily change a tire without having to muscle it. Despite being an ancient tire that we're still just gonna throw away, we're gonna lube it up as much as possible. Make sure our duck bill is nice and secure, pop it over the lip, and then it's just gonna automatically remove the tire as we pull it around here. And just like that, something that would have taken us much longer only took us a couple minutes. Clean up the wheel as much as possible, and throw on some beautiful slicks. Now these may just be race takeoffs, but they still have plenty of life left for track days. Valve stem back in. Now we just need to air up the tire and seat the bead. As with any tire that we mount, we need to be sure that it's perfectly balanced, especially if we're going to be using it at the track. Balancing a tire isn't rocket surgery. Essentially what we're doing is setting it on a level surface, then finding the high spot. We set weights on there to ensure that when we move it to another position, it will stay there without moving. If it moves, we add or remove weights. If it doesn't, it's balanced, and then we set the weights on the wheel itself. Just like that, our tire's ready to be mounted back on the bike. Once the old grease is cleaned off, we need to ensure that there's a fresh layer of new grease, so that the parts will last longer and friction won't damage them. Something that was missing when we bought this bike was this right rear cap. We're going to replace that along with the nuts that were missing. These nuts will ensure that our chain stays at the proper tension. Spins freely, brakes are back in place, all's good. So now we're going to replace the chain. The type of master link shown here is a rivet link. Rivet links are the most reliable, and when it comes to racing, the most accepted across most organizations. The key to installing a master link is ensuring that it's tight enough that it's going to hold while also not binding the chain. The last step in installing our new chain is setting the tension. For the track especially, and for racing, we want about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches of free play. Now that includes up and down, which is why you see me pushing it both up and down. Finally, we're going to change the front tire as well. Since we have to remove the caliper anyway, we're going to inspect the brake pads to see if they're still usable. Once again, we want to clean off all the old grease and ensure that any part that has friction will have fresh grease. Tighten everything down, remount our caliper, and it's ready to go. Despite the problems that ancient, rusted chain gave me, the test ride went very well. With that, the bike is ready for a track-worthy trial. Like and subscribe to see it hit the track for the first time on the next episode of TrackWeapon. Drop a comment telling me how far you've let your tires go before changing them. I know that there's some crazy riders out there, and I want to hear your stories. Thank you again, and I'll see you at the track. And gave me a tad ahead of see it hit the track for the holy crap, that's really awkward.